Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. Welcome to another episode of Rural Heritage TV. This week we go back to Marcus, Iowa, where Junior Pearson has put together an amazing collection of horse-drawn equipment and vehicles in his barn museum. Several weeks ago he showed us his collection of farm wagons. This week we look at field equipment. Next week we'll see some of the carriages, buggies, and other vehicles on display.
I bought this. I didn't have the wheel, and I was out at Shipshawana, and I went over to want a wheel, and I took him over to the sale, and I says, "Can you make that wheel for me?" Yeah. I said, "Well, that depends if I buy that or not." So I sent him the hub. We made this at home here, and I sent him that out, and boy, he did a nice job on it.
You sure did.
And I said, "I need a 52-inch wheel." That thing measures exactly 52. It ain't 52 and a 16th either.
Right, right.
But that powered that. This is a barn thresher. And if you look at it, Joe, it's got the same mechanism as the newer combines until they went to the rotaries.
Yep.
But it's got the rasp bar,
Yep.
the shakers in here.
Technology had not changed for
but look at the pin stripping on
150
there.
years.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at
it's
this.
beautiful.
That's neat.
It really is. It's in such great shape.
And they marked the loads here with a pencil, you know, 4 and 5.
How cool is that? That is awesome. That is so neat.
Yeah. But look at that. That's perfect.
It really is, yeah. And of course, it would have been kept inside, but I mean, it would have been easy for somebody to say, we need room here, let's push this out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't, we don't use it anymore. What the
But
heck?
this thing come from Stanton, Pennsylvania is where I bought it. And it was made in Orangeville, which was probably 60 miles from there. I said, how come they didn't buy it out there for their museum or something?
Right.
They tried to, but they couldn't get anybody to put the money up. And
Wow.
this is the only thing I bought on, well, one of the only things I bought on the internet. But it was on there and they weren't getting any bids. And I said to my wife, "You been to Pennsylvania?" "No." I said, "You want to go?" I said, "I'm going to put one bid on this thing. Or you either go or you don't." Well, I got it.
It's terrific.
See, they come apart here. They just latch together.
Yeah, right.
But I put it on skids so it stays together.
Yep.
But that's a nice piece.
It really is that it's all there.
The only thing is short, there's an option, a straw stacker that went on here.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
like the ones back there, but it was a wooden paddles on it.
Wow.
But look at here, that's just like John Deere's had on them, and
It's terrific. That's a great piece.
takes up a lot of room here, but
Yeah, it does, but it
But-
tells a big story.
at least we can walk around it yet.
Yes, right.
A friend of mine lives a mile south of town here. He restored these, and I told him he could bring them up here and show them off because he didn't have a place to.
Sure.
But it's all recycled maple wood out of a gym floor. Did a
Oh,
beautiful-
like a high school gym or something.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a beautiful job.
Yeah,
He did all that by hand.
that's gorgeous. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's well done.
Got an ice cutter?
Yeah, it's a marker. They
Okay.
mark the ice and then they cut it with a
Okay.
saw.
Okay, yeah.
And then a little package up above, put it under there for a shovel or the cover, go down the road.
Wow, that's something that would probably get thrown away.
Yeah. And this also flips over so you can go back and forth, the marker. The
Oh,
hinge
okay,
is here.
huh,
You
yeah.
go down, flip it over and bring the horse around and go back the other way.
That's great. That's in great shape. Lots of seats.
Yeah, I don't really collect them. They just happen to be stuff that was in items that I'd got at an auction or something.
Yeah. And there's a nice saw up there. No, that's a hay saw.
That's just a bush saw, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, the one underneath it.
Oh, the one underneath, yeah, that's a hay saw.
Yeah. That's a nice.
I didn't know it, but back in 1894, Marcus had fair.
Huh. Well, you guys have one now, don't you?
Yeah, but that was found on the internet. I didn't even know aware of it.
Wow. Yeah, post hole digger.
Yeah. This here was donated by a farmer north of town here. That's in perfect shape. Corn grader.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's in perfect shape. That's been inside.
Oh, that spring seat there, that's a factory one, right out of the factory, never been opened up.
Oh yeah, like it come. Yep. Yeah. Nobody bought it. If you enjoy seeing how our ancestors lived during America's rule yesterday, you're going to love looking at these books. Volume 1 is Fieldwork, showing horses and vintage tractors preparing seed beds, planting, cultivating, and harvesting the crop. Volume 2 shows the work being done in the barn and farmyard, feeding and watering the livestock, getting the crop into the barn, milking the cows, shearing the sheep, and collecting the eggs. In Volume 3, we go inside the home to see the family in the kitchen canning vegetables, in the parlor listening to the radio, and in the dining room for family supper. We also head into town to shop at the general store or visit on the town square on Saturday night. Each book has over 140 large format pages. They sell for $24.95 each, or you can buy 2 for $44.95, or all 3 for $54.95 plus shipping. Call 1-877-647-2452 to order. That's 1-877-647-2452.
This here's a one-horse lawnmower. Used mow cemeteries and golf courses and municipal buildings and courthouses, and
Wow.
that thing's 400 and some pounds.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Here's one of the items that has the gas engine on it.
Yep, right.
And I bought this over at Waverly. Look how nice that tank is. That thing is beautiful.
It's amazing.
I think it holds water.
Yeah, it might leak a little until it swells
Yeah,
up.
but
And
that thing's an excellent shape.
it sure is. Huh.
Got all the writing on it like that. And
Yeah.
this was 1919.
That's a nice tedder.
That
We
thing,
had-
when I got it, it was all froze up. I had to get it all loosened up. I think it took a lot of settling to loosen her up, but she'd go to the field.
They rattle a lot, but they do a good job tedding hay.
This one here is older yet.
Yeah, wooden. Yeah.
I've got a wooden wheeled one spotted that I might get in here yet, and I don't know where I'm going to put it. But it's got wooden wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
This potato planter here, that's original. That's really a neat piece.
It is. Boy, it sure is.
Pretty simple too.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's nice.
This little reaper here, that come out of North Dakota. And this is a very nice piece. There isn't a thing wrong with this thing. It'd go right to the field. It's all original.
Yeah, those are scary machines.
See, my tour is they started with them, then they went to this, then they went to that. This here is a Buckeye mower. Patent dates are on it 1860 to 62.
Is this what's back here? Is this a
That's
weight?
no, that's the drive.
Okay.
So you took it in and out of gear right
I
here.
see. Okay. All right.
That thing's all original.
Wow.
And right here you got just patent dates. No, that's a all original tongue on it, and eveners, and the divide board.
Yeah.
that is, I think that's a neat piece.
It is. It's very unique.
That's going to go in the new building too. But see what I'm talking about, little kids coming in here?
Yeah, right.
I got to get cardboard over them like I did that. And
Well, it's such great shape. Everything's here.
oh yeah. That's original color, except the wheel. I think they repainted them wheels and that bracket.
Yep, right. It's a different shade of yellow.
I can't change it, and I don't want to change it.
No, it's part of the story.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, right.
But why they would paint them two items, I don't know. But that Minnesota binder, that's a cut, only about a 6-foot cut. That's the smallest one I've ever seen. And that's the reason that's in here.
Yeah.
And they'd go right to the field.
Wow. That's a hard thing to repair once it goes wrong.
Oh yeah. See, they were made by the prison system. You knew that, didn't you?
No.
Oh, yeah, up in Minnesota, they made farm machinery. Minnesota. Okay. That's what they called them, the Minnesota line. And they made binders, mowers, spreaders, quite a few different things. Seats, wagon boxes, and it was all free labor, but they still couldn't make a go of it. This over here is a one-horse baler.
Yeah.
I got this down in Missouri, and the guy, it actually works. The guy who used it.
The chairs are to keep kids from jumping up and down.
Well, it's for old people. They kind of wear out on me over here. You know how long we've been going.
Yeah, but it's nice that you got the whole thing here.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. It takes up so much room, but,
right, but it shows
it's history.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it comes apart where?
Right here, bolts together there, and the wheels are over there along the wall. You can mount them up, and that jack down there, that's how you put the wheels on. Yeah. But the horse walks around, pulls the plunger in, and it trips over there at a certain point, and the springs pull it back, and they reload it. And that's a Dane. That was made, John Deere bought that company out. Here's a Deere Weber I was telling you about.
Right, with the 2 Bs.
Mm-hmm. That's a potato sprayer.
Huh.
It's got an agitator in it, piston pump, and piston pump works yet. I tried to get the whole water, but it leaked pretty good. And this tar was already on there. I tried to clean it off best I could.
Yeah,
but
1910.
Yeah.
Huh, that's a nice piece.
Yeah, you don't see many in that good a shape.
No, certainly not. That's a great trip rake up there.
Yeah, I got that 2 years ago, Waverly. This item here is a corn cutter. Just cut the corn, the guy rides in the back. So one horse pulls it. Guy rides back here, and it brings the stalks in here, trip it and lay it on the ground. Do the same over here. These were only made 3 years. They didn't work. Everything was drove off that little gear drive down there, and them teeth would break off.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of heavy mechanism turning.
Yes.
You get it full of corn stalks, it pulls hard. They couldn't keep the teeth on the gear.
I mean, it's a lot of mechanism for something that...
Well, look, they're too small, the gears.
Yeah, and I mean, they made sleds that had those blades on them, right? They'd fall over and
yeah.
It wouldn't be a whole lot different.
No,
You just kick it off.
But the only thing different was this mechanism
Right.
to group it.
Right.
But it was made down in Superior Hay Company made them, and they quit making them after 3 years.
That's got to be rare.
That was about 1915. Bound by the Tennessee line, this here old baler. This has a gas engine also, but it was pulled around by horses.
Right.
Well, here it shows a picture how they did it.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy worked for a scrap iron company, but he wouldn't sell it to him.
Well, good for him.
It showed a lot of pitting and all, but
sure,
it'll work. That's the way it was when I bought it that day. That thing's heavy. It weighs 4,000 pounds. 4,200, I think, somewhere around here. I got the weight on it. You know, I bought it from the guy, and I said, what kind is it? He says, I don't know. It's got stampings all over the place.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
Right, right. You put the decal on.
Yeah, I did that. Yep.
Yeah. But you're right.
Here's another thing, Joe. If you look in that Wendell's book, all this is the opposite than the pictures.
Oh, because they got reversed?
I don't know what to do.
Reversed?
The pictures I've seen are reversed from this one.
Huh.
Now, I don't know what the deal is. I think maybe the negative is in wrong.
Right.
But if you look, you pay attention to that, it'll be just the opposite.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, that drive over there will be on this side, and this will be on that side.
Huh.
This here is a corn husker here. Excellent shape.
Sure is.
Didn't have to do anything to this more than straighten it up just a little bit here and there.
Yeah, those do a lot of work when they're running.
Well, Amish still like them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do a lot of work. They work good.
And it's got all the patent dates here and the name on the side. It's a nice piece.
It is. It really is.
This here buck rake or sweep and that lift there, overshot stacker, that all come from North Dakota, the same farm as the reaper up there. And this is all laying in a shed in pieces.
No kidding.
Yep. And I hauled it home, and all the pieces are there except one little one. Nothing's in excellent shape.
It sure is.
You don't find them that good.
No.
That's a
They
Dane.
get beat up.
John Deere made the Dane, or bought Dane.
They're fun to watch work.
Yeah. This is a little baler, hand baler.
Yeah, those are a lot of work. I've seen
Oh,
people try to
God.
demonstrate those before, but they take a long time.
I don't know. I think they baled about anything with them. Maybe paper and
Yeah.
cardboard, maybe, and straw, hay. But
They're a project.
yeah, this here is a Clover hauler,
Yes, it is. Yep, you're right.
and it's an 1889. I've got the manual for this. It was built in 1889 for $475. It's in really good shape. It's got the wooden wheels.
So they would hold the clover to recover the seed to be able to plant clover. Is that right?
Right. Actually, they liked the second crop best for the seed.
Okay.
First one they took for hay. And the second crop had better seed quality. But they'd only get, how many pounds of the acre? 4 to 5 bushels.
Wow.
But it was worth $10 a bushel.
Okay.
And in 1889, that's a lot of money.
Right, it is. Yeah, it is. There's very small seeds.
Yeah. Well, everything went in a bag over there, you know, and
Yeah.
I don't know how they got it to go through all that contraption.
Right. Right.
This come out of Pennsylvania, too.
It's all wood. It's a lot of
Yeah,
wood.
and it's got the pin stripping on it yet, and the light.
That's just a small sampling of the hundreds of items Junior has on display at his barn museum, and he's adding more all the time. So many, in fact, that he's added another building to contain it all. His museum is open to the public, but by appointment only. Be sure to come back next week when we look at his collection of carriages, buggies, and other vehicles.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.